What on earth is that? It's a Journey into Comics Network production! All aboard!
I brought my pencil!
Yeah! Like you never get to say like you did before. Make it ring, make it bleed, make it really.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rank 'Em All, that show where we rank a bunch of songs and albums from a bunch of our bands and artists. We figure out which ones are the tippy top and which ones are the bippity bop. Today we're going right back down. Alice in Chains. We're on the next album. We are on The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. You can tell I don't practice the intro and write down what I'm going to say.
The bippity bop.
It's the bippity bop.
That was
bopping. Oh shit!
What was that corny shit that Roman Reigns said on SmackDown because of Vince McMahon one time?
Suffer and succotash. Dude.
Suffer and succotash, son.
I think we killed Tyler right out of the gate.
I took a drink right when you said that.
Well, we're 30 seconds in and Tyler's dead.
Rails don't exist for this episode.
Where we're going, we don't need rails.
Where we're going, we don't need rails. We're Alice in Chains. Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, the second Post Lane album. We're dead set right in the middle of the new era. There's only been 3 albums, so we only got one more after this. For now, when they release a new album, we'll definitely have to reconvene to add that to the ranks. But I'm not
They're
here.
touring. They're touring right now. I'm seeing them in a couple weeks. Are they working on a new album? Do we know?
I haven't heard anything.
Not to my knowledge, no.
But I would not be surprised. I mean, they're still going strong. As we know, COVID kind of threw everything for a loop with everybody. So as far as the schedules,
thanks, Nate.
Yep. Nate is here, everybody. I'm not here alone. I'm one of your hosts, Brando. Joining me here is that lovely sound of Nate Phillips, the Podfather. How you doing, bud?
I'm so sorry.
It's late.
I feel like,
and we're all slap happy.
I feel like this episode is going to be so much more funnier than the actual album is. I'm not.
Hey, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert there, Nate. Jesus,
I just killed Tyler.
No need to watch the rest of the show. We know Nate doesn't like the album.
We'll get there. We will, but we're obviously not alone today. Joining us, as always, the Mushroom Master himself, T.
Over here looking like Wilson.
All jokes aside, I kind of gushed about Black Gives Way to Blue and how it was awesome to, because other than the singles, which we didn't even know, kind of the order or what. It was surprising what singles ended up being what, but dude, I really got into this one, actually. I had I'm looking through my notes here, 2 out of the entire album that I didn't really vibe with, so that was pretty cool.
It's always really fun to do this kind of show in like an exploration phase. Like when Nate and I first did the Metallica run, he and I know that discography from top to bottom. Like those albums those episodes are longer simply because there was so much to say about everything. I didn't even have to even listen to the stuff half the time to know the ballpark of where I wanted to rake stuff. But when we did Van Halen, digging through the weeds, as we called it, we knew a lot of big songs, but there were some cool hidden gems all littered throughout every single album, even some of the stuff that we didn't like. Just a really cool exploration phase, and it's the exact same thing here with Alice in Chains.
For sure.
I've heard a lot of Alice in Chains. However, I have to be honest, I had not listened to this album in full.
First time I actually had listened to it at all, honestly.
Yeah, and the voice that you just heard there was Alex Buckles joining us once again. Hey, I didn't forget. We got a little sidetracked, but we did not forget.
The devil put that dinosaur here.
Yeah, yep.
Moo.
He just turns into, well, I'm saying you were old, not a fucking like anthropomorphic pterodactyl. Like,
no, I am a fucking pterodactyl, dude.
All right, man. God, shit. Anyway,
But I
Wow.
mentioned on the last episode that Black Gives Way to Blue was really awesome. As I said, even as the albums that I've ranked so far, it ranks up top 2. It's in second place.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
It is crazy because you would have thought, man, you didn't rank Dirt that high. Well, in the top 10, it's there. You got to think that in those top 10, that is everything that is pretty much 8 and up. I haven't given an album a straight 10, unlike Joe Grimes. I feel
That's the old floppy debit.
there you go, floppy debit right there. Joe Grimes is a great guest. We can't wait to have him back here one day, like on some other projects. Really fun.
Wham.
Really fun talking to that dude because I mean, this crew right here, we have our own perspectives and everything. And of course, he's a drummer, and he looks and hears things entirely different. So
Yeah.
and that's really cool to have for this show because it causes really cool dialogue, but also the same for him, the exploration, like finding new things, finding new songs, new little tracks. That you haven't heard before that might end up making the playlist one day. So that's what we're going to do here today. The Devil Put Dinosaurs here, fellas, was released. No! That window's open. What am I doing? Get out of here.
Please
Crap.
tell me this is all still recorded.
It is.
I will call Boss Hog, you son of a bitch.
Oh. So
I will get him down here right now.
this is what happens when we don't have a freaking producer running the show for
My
us.
producer.
A producer.
I thought he was going to say Paducah, and I
Hey,
was like, well,
Paducah.
man, what? What?
The guy that I work with is from Paducah, Kentucky.
Yeah,
fact.
Bob Sock is not here to
Yeah,
run the
or
show
not-
for us, like he did for the Metal Cast way back in the day. So, Devil Put Dinosaurs here was released on May 28th, 2013. Also, for that little snafu, if you're not watching on YouTube, you have no idea what it was. That was entirely video. Basically, all of our faces got cut off and got covered up by another window.
Oh, you should have just put like Andros there, like ha 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 ha.
I've almost done that once. And there was one supercast that we were going to do where you were like, I don't know, man, my webcam's giving me problems. I'm like, I'll just use that damn Andros picture because I know Buckles for him. I used his Facebook picture. So
Oh God! Oh God!
it was the one a long time ago where you were blue. Anyway,
He was getting blown?
well, it was
He's
the
blue.
Well, he was. Well, I'm not going to say that because that sounds really wrong.
He was blown?
I was going to say he was black, which gave way to blue.
Yeah, that's a hate crime.
I can.
No, they're on their way, Brandon. Might as well go meet him at the door.
I'm far too pale for that, my friend.
Next week, rank them all. Canceled.
Anyway.
It was
I'm
an
over here
Allison
look-
change.
I'm
Anyway,
over here looking at my old profile picture. like, what the fuck did he do?
AllisonChains.exe has stopped. This is absurd.
released in 2013. It was recorded from July 2011 to December 2012.
Ah, that one.
And
That's
it
from
ranks
Seven.
in at 67 minutes and 16 seconds. It's a long boy. We have no songs close to the 3-minute mark here, Tyler, so I'm sorry about that.
I actually, and see, that was one of the fun things. I knew one of you guys was going to say something right away. And I actually, going through my lists, didn't complain about any of the song lengths for any track.
Awesome. That's cool. He is progressing. He vibed the songs that much that they didn't even stick out as too long.
Yeah.
I
I vibed the whole thing.
we have 3 singles here, and we'll talk about those as we go along. Pretty much, this album features William Duvall kind of stepping up a little bit more into the forefront with some vocals, while still maintaining a lot of those key sounds. It's some of those key sounds that Buckles was getting annoyed with the last album, with the harmonies and everything.
Key sounds like the ones Nate's making.
Yep, all those the old man noises.
Sorry.
Nate,
Good.
you have a
God.
mute button. You can utilize the mute button to burp. And, wow.
Anyway.
You're not currently talking nor hosting, so you can
He's
do that.
He's just holding his breath. Fine. I'll just hold my breath then. You just look and Nate's face is like blue and it's like, dude, take a breath.
Oh God!
We are off to a hilarious start tonight, folks.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait to watch these back on YouTube. I cannot fucking wait.
It'd almost be funnier if Brandon put like a camel barking or something over my noises. You know,
Like one of the clips. Like just cut it in. Anyway, how'd you guys feel about the first track?
Yeah, let's go to that real quick. Before
you,
we hit
Tyler.
the tracks, I was gonna say that that the album was very commercially successful. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, and it was the highest charting position since the self-titled debuted at number 1. And it sold 61,000 copies in its first week. And by July 31st of 2013, the album sold 120,000 copies. Note that it's not too common anymore for albums to break the gold and diamond mark. Like I just saw, I think
Just
it was
because they don't get sold the same way?
Yeah, well, because we live in a different era of streaming where a lot of people just stream them off of YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and those don't count towards sales. So, like, I saw just this is unrelated but related because they were celebrating, like Fozzy was celebrating that Judas had just gone gold, and Judas came out it was 2016 or something like that, like
Oh wow,
a while
dude,
ago.
yeah.
And so,
That's crazy.
I mean, you know, that song is their most successful song, but it took this long for it to actually, go gold. And I mean, that's something to really tout yourself on if you're like a rock band, metal band that isn't one of the most premier ones like Metallica or something like that. And while Alice is definitely up there, the album sale market is just a lot different. So kudos on the band for that. They were also nominated for Grammy. For Best Engineered Album, non-classical.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah,
I have some thoughts on that, but okay.
okay. Well, I mean, let's just say that like being nominated for a Grammy, while pretty cool, is almost not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Be that as it may. So as we know, Alice in Chains is Jerry Cantrell, William Duvall, Sean Kinney, and Mike Inez, all back here. This has Jerry and Duvall as lead vocals, and Jerry's lead guitar. Duvall also has a guitar solo on Phantom Limb, so that's kind of cool. He's kind of stepping up a little bit. And all songs are written by Jerry, except where noted. We have more songs now, and I'll try to remember to say those as we go along. But here we are, the opening track, Hollow, which was the first single off of the album. This first single came out December 18th, 2012, right after about a week after the world was supposed to end. We get Hollow, and I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one. And I'm just, you know what? There was a lot of excitement from TY, so we'll start with him. What do you guys say about Hollow?
See, it's funny that you picked on me first because out of the entire rest of the album, this is the only one that I didn't take a bunch of notes. I think just overall, it's a really, really good, solid start. I don't think I actually have ever heard the song on the radio. So when the first time I listened to it was actually like the first time that I legitimately heard it. So, I don't have a whole lot more to say than it's just really solid.
Buckles, what you got?
I was gonna say with any of the singles, I don't think I heard a single track off of this album on the radio. So yeah, any of them as singles, I didn't hear any radio play for. That's to my memory.
Yeah, which is strange. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just remembered. We talked about when we did Black Gives Way to Blue. It's like I'm still hearing the singles off that album.
Your Decision and Check My Brain. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a bunch on here that I haven't heard at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just said that it's a very solid riff to start off, real chuggy. The lyrics are like super nihilistic for this one. I had the comment that I'm not really all that optimistic that things have changed from what I disliked about the last album. So like some of the issues that I took with Black Gives Way to Blue being like the mixing, the vocals being buried, stuff like that, the double tracking on everything. I was looking at this with an open mind. I'm listening to this going, well, this is the first track and I'm already noticing things. So not really all that optimistic, but this isn't a bad song.
I actually did hear this song on the radio. I heard it like it was within days, and I was on night shift at the time. So I do distinctly remember. I think I heard it coming back home around the time we were going to start our Christmas shutdown. It was late at night, and I didn't have a podcast on or anything. I don't even think I was really listening to podcasts too much at the time. So I listened to the radio a lot more back then. And it was like, it wasn't Strange. Strange didn't work. Strange didn't work night shift.
This is Strange. Brand new.
My name is Strange.
Yep. He definitely left. He became a little acquainted with my voicemail. He called me quite a bit.
See, I didn't have any encounter with Strange until I moved back to Lafayette. So this entire time I was living in Muncie. So I didn't encounter Strange until probably 2016.
That's funny, man.
I swear that I was winning shit from Strange like every other week because I was the only person on. Because all the stuff I entered to win were all through the website, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only guy that actually bothered to go on the website and enter it.
Yeah, because didn't you have to fill out like actual
just like a little thing.
And it was like all your personal information, not just like a quick. Like the quick newsletter shit, it's like my name, my email, and it's like, no, you actually had to put your information in.
Yeah, like I won. What did I win first? I believe I won the Hardwired to Self-Destruct CD, and then I won Wings, etc., like a $50 gift card to Wings, etc.
Yeah, I was just say I remember that one.
And then after that, I won Master of Puppets reissue. I didn't need it. I didn't need it, but I'm like, well, what the heck, let's hear what this sounds like. And yeah, so this song
anyway.
I never won shit.
I heard the song and on the radio. I thought I dug it back then, and I still dig it now. I like it. It's an old chunky style that harkens back to the classic days. I felt like the vocals, while being all the way through harmonized almost, but they were a little bit more clean this time around. They're a little bit more dialed in. Yeah, when you listen to it, it is buried in the mix a little bit, but I didn't have a hard time hearing it. And ultimately, with how chunky it is and catchy it is, this might be one of my favorites of the new era overall. I thought it was a really good, very good opener. And Nate, what do you got? You got anything to add?
So I agree definitely with what you were saying about it being a good opening track for the album. I love the chunkiness. One thing I think that they definitely do differently, Black Gives Way to Blue, I feel like they did a lot of utilizing of major chords. They were a little bit more uplifting when they were ending the tails of their tracks. So it was a little bit more positive on everything, even if it was sad and dark. This is in minor. It's evil. It's angry. It's got that like
darker
old grunge vibe, like what you want them to bring. And I'm really happy with how the harmonies and the vocals are. I think the bass really slays throughout, using its low end to really sell the song as this evil, like brooding first track. It gets you ready to really listen to the album. Unfortunately for me, it's much like a parachute. We've just launched the parachute and there's only one way down. You know what I'm saying? So
you didn't vibe it?
The rest of the album for me, we're going to talk about it, but they really struggled to keep my excitement. We'll get there, but really, I really loved Hollow. It is a jammable track that I want to go back to over and over again. It's probably one of the few I would re-listen to time and time again off of this album.
Cool.
Then what'd you rank it, bud?
I gave it a 7.25.
I gave it a 9.5. Buckles, what'd you give it?
Bill 6.
6 and TY.
9.5. It's too solid not to, for sure it's not the greatest song in the world, especially compared to the rest of their catalog, but Post Lane, I mean, it's as solid as it gets to me.
I agree with you. They don't, but I agree. The next track, Pretty Done, which is
describes my thoughts on the album.
Well, this one I'm not a fan of.
So Pretty Done.
Nate,
clocks in.
Don't give it away your entire review for the album on the second
song.
Dude.
Sorry. I'll shut up.
Anyways, this song's not a single. No surprise there.
Yeah.
I'll go first this time around. Carries forward the new style with the salt and pepper of the old that the last album brings forward. There's some decent riffs here, but it never quite gets into second gear. And we'll go to Nate.
Ultimately, this song for me is an idea that never quite takes off. I feel like they are in first gear and droning the whole song. And it's like, man, give me some kind of change or evolution. Bring it up an octave, bring it down 6 octaves. Like, fucking do something that is not the.
Yeah, I got you.
It's just like, what's the best way to describe this? It's like asking for a really good, like, cheeseburger, and you want the perfect amount of cheese on that cheeseburger, right? But the chef is so horny for cheese that the inside of the burger is cheese, the bottom bun is cheese, the top bun is cheese.
It's like too
Everything is fucking cheese. And at some point, I'm having a little bit of cheese or a lot of bit of cheese with my my hamburger, you know?
You open up the plate is cheese. You get off your chair, the chair is cheese.
Yeah, it's like I'm having a
Look
side of
down, your
hamburger
arms
with
is
my cheese, you know?
You turn to say something to V is cheese.
My God, everything is fucking cheese. Ah!
I could say some really inappropriate jokes.
Don't do it.
I don't
What's
want
bippity
to.
boppity don't?
I don't want to.
Bippity boppity don't. It's like you look over, you're like, oh my God, she's Swiss. Oh wait, no, she's not. Anyway,
Okay. Cheddar.
Anyway,
As far as notes over on
Nate
my
likes his
end,
cheese.
Yeah. I didn't have anything written about cheese, but the best note I had was
I would be a little concerned if you also.
let me check my notes here. Not a whole lot about cheese, but not a fan of the
Check
song.
my cheese notes here.
no, the thing that stuck out to me is there's some weird like tones in the background, like bell tones or weird like I don't know if it's a wah pedal or something going on in the background. Other than that, Pretty Done is pretty blah. Like there's nothing there. It is just okay. Next song.
Next ranker, Tyler. What'd you think?
I am not a fan of the song. I kind of said it a minute ago. The biggest note that I had is the arrangement is just strange.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like they start jamming and it's like, okay, this isn't bad. And then if you like just started looping one jam session, but it never stopped. And then they come back like the following week and it's still playing. And then they start jamming again. And it's like, okay, well, that's really cool. We like that. Let's just keep that in the loop, you know? And then you've got just a bunch of stuff that's like repeating the loop. And I don't know. It's
Alice in Fish.
Yeah, it's the best way I have to articulate it. I just the arrangement is too strange.
Cantrell was slated by saying there's some real filth in there, and that's intentional. That's also just the way we sound together. We're trying to make a record that we dig, and we're trying to keep the bar high of ourselves and see if we can't get past it. And I think that we did that on this album. Anyways, TY, what'd you give it for a rank, bud?
5.5.
5.5. And Buckles.
So it's middle of the road and pretty nothing. It's a 5. That's
5.
dead even.
Well, Nate, we know you didn't think it was any good, so where'd you give it?
It's exactly where these guys are at, though. 5.25.
Brando, you son of a bitch.
Did you just say Gouda? You fucker.
He tried to slide
He's
that one
been
in.
waiting. He's been waiting.
You sliced me deep there. You cut the cheese hard.
Brandon's just sniping from the weeds there. He's just waiting.
Well, I felt kind of bad about that other joke, but it's like, it's not too bad, but it's not great. Okay, I'm gonna get this one. But anyway, I gave it a 6. Pretty done
with this song, yeah.
Pretty done with this song. The next song is also a single. It's me. It's Stone. No, it's
What?
It's just called well. Oh, he's not talking to me.
Did you say something to me, Skylar?
Hey, you remember the whole thing about the mute button?
Yeah, my bad. God, forgot about it.
You said what? And I'm over here looking at like my notes, and over here I'm like, wait.
I kind of forgot because I remember once I hit the mute button in one of our previous casts, and then it wouldn't let me unmute it.
Oh crap!
And we
I
had to-
remember that.
And we had to totally stop the cast to get me to unmute.
Yep,
Right.
I remember. Stone was the next single released in March 25th of 2013. I think I heard this once on the radio, and that's about it. But we'll start with Nate on this one.
Man, is this song fucking sludge city. The bass is just sludging, trudging through. It's got a lot of nice groove. Actually, this is one of the songs, again, it hits some cool things. And I really like, listen, there's something to be said about a low bass that leads into a almost a gross, that's the word I want to use, guitar. Gross.
I can tell-
Gross.
Tyler's over here trying to play air guitar to it.
Yeah, I was jamming in the background.
No, but like I don't know, there's something about like a filthy bass line that leads into a really chunky guitar that follows it that just gets my dick fucking extra hard. And
Well,
it does. It does.
think-
This, you know.
I think I know what it is for sure, and it's like the opening to Wood, right?
Kinda.
That fucking that bass line,
Yeah.
dude. We all love that song so much, and it's like, dude, you start
That
to
was a
get it, you
great-
get just enough of it, and then the rest of the song. Sorry, I had to jump in before I forgot.
I think there's a lot of noodling happening on the guitars because they weren't sure what to do. When in reality, if you just sit back a little bit and just jam it out, it's gonna be a good vibe. Brando, what are you laughing about now, you cheesemonger?
You said this song really gets my dick hard. There's a lot of noodling here. I'm like, what the?
I'd like to point out that the first thing Tyler said was wood.
What the-
Yeah, did you really like emphasis on the
Wood.
Accidentally very pornographic in here.
Brando,
My
I'm glad
bad,
you and
dog.
I'm glad you and I are in the same mindset, Brando.
Vocally though, I like that. I fucking forgot his name. I want to call him Walter, but I know that's not it.
William Duvall.
William.
Bill Duvall.
If
Oh my
anybody
God.
is left out there who hasn't left this podcast yet, please stay tuned. We are going to rank the whole album. I promise.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
getting her back on track.
Don't worry, Poochie died on the way to his home planet. No more
Anyways, I jam Stone. It's not my favorite song on the album, but it's not the worst song on the album.
Buckles.
I like the bass at the beginning. I dig the riff. And really the riff kind of saved the whole song to me. The riff was the only thing noteworthy because the other note that I have is when in doubt, harmony. If not harmony, double track. Under no circumstances should the lead singer ever sing by himself. That's their style. Don't ever let the lead singer ever sing solo.
It's funny because hearing a song coming up, he does.
I know. That's what that was my note for this one.
Anyway,
He's like, to this point, man. To this point.
I was getting progressively angrier listening to this album, and not in a good way.
See, and that's funny because, like, would you have felt this way had you have not just listened to all these weeks worth?
Black is way to blue.
Well, like all these weeks of like Alice in Chains and being subjected to the same kind of sound over and over
Oh.
again.
Well,
yeah.
Not quite that, but the fact that, kind of like I said in the last episode, if you're going to be a new band, if you want to put your stamp on doing something different, then you need to do something different. Don't be so beholden to what you did before that you cannot try something new.
Yeah.
So,
From what Jerry says, they're trying for both. They're trying to keep
There's-
Alice there and make it sound noticeably Alice, but experiment.
there's something to be said for that, but there's also something to be said for, okay, that's not working. And if you're going to try something new, you have to embrace the fact you're going to try something new. Otherwise, you get half-assed. You get a mix of this weird shit. And there's actually a point later on this album where I think you can actually hear Jerry Cantrell speaking directly to that effect and to some of the critics of what I believe were critics of the previous album and his take on that. And I don't necessarily agree with him, for one. As far as this song specifically, as far as Stone goes, the bass and the riff saved the song for me. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been much to me, if anything.
TY, did you get what you wanted to say, or do you have more?
I like a lot of what Alex said, except for me, it was really positive. I think the song was very catchy. I love the sludge. The riffs were super good. But I was just listening back at the beginning. I don't really think that they're doing a whole lot of double tracking on this one. I think more on this one specifically, it's just Jerry laying down like his track, and it's at 100% volume. And then I think the William Duvall's, he is at such an octave above Jerry. They just take his track, layer it on top, and then back the volume down just a little bit. I think that's where it's at more than anything, because if I just focused on just his audio, it didn't sound bad, you know. But I definitely agree. Together, it's not my favorite.
Like, that's kind of my point, is that they don't necessarily have to have that harmony in every song. Like, it may not be double track, but it's the harmony then. You don't have to do that on every vocal of every song.
Yeah.
And it seems like for the last album and a half now, that's seems to be the MO. They can't be Alice in Chains without the harmony. That's what everybody established, or that's what everybody associates with Alice in Chains.
Mm-hmm.
But even back when they were doing the original stuff with Lane, they weren't doing it 24/7.
Right.
And I think they're just trying to force it.
It's almost like using crutches when you don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that goes to what I said before on the self-titled. There wasn't as much harmony, but his vocal tracks were doubled for the entire record.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds better to me when it's harmonied, but I definitely, like you and me were almost saying the same thing, which it's overused.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the harmony over the double tracking. But like, if the argument is, if we're going to be Alice in Chains, we have to do the harmony, then maybe your best bet's not to be Alice in Chains. Be whoever it is you are now. Be your own band, instead of trying to hold yourself to this standard of, this is what we did in the past, so we have to do it now.
I wrote that the intro sounds very Devil's Dance into Black Sabbath. If you know those,
I can hear that
for sure.
Devil's Dance from Metallica.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
So,
oh man,
it just like Ty said, I'm noticing more of Duvall's vocals here. And it's standing out a little bit, even with the harmonies. His vocals are standing out a little bit more, as you said, with doing the like the little pitch up. So, you know, I dug the song, and I gave it an 8.5. Ty, what did you give it?
8.75. I really dug this one, man.
Buckles
6.5, 6.5.
and Nate.
also an exactly 6.5. I've got a biscuit. He decided to join us.
Hey, Biscuit.
Even as sludgy as this one, Nate, you didn't dig it. You didn't dig the sludge.
Man, okay, bump it up to a fucking 7.
There we go.
Talking into it. There you go.
See, this one deserves it.
It does deserve it. It has.
I
some
know I
dope
can't
sludge.
change Alex's mind.
You know what? I'm
goddamn
not gonna lie though. I will say, Brando saying that it gives Devil's Dance vibes kind of also changed my tune a little bit there and makes me more willing to want to give it a better rank because it is Devil's Dancey.
Hell yeah.
The next song isn't Devil's Dancey. It is Voices, and I believe this is the third single released in July of 2013. Voices is it's kind of your run-of-the-mill acoustic bluesy-ish Jar of Flies era, kind of what they did on the last album, but just doing it here again. But I mean, we said does that song on the previous album, which I believe, which one did we say that one was? Lesson Learned, or no?
Yes, I think it was.
It was either that one or Your Decision. Maybe it was Your Decision.
Yeah.
But we said, it's really good, but does it live up to what they did before? And, here, no, it doesn't. It's still enjoyable to me. But, I mean, that's it gets to the point sometimes when you're into a band, when you start noticing patterns of things songwriters do and what they bring to the table. And sometimes they kind of get a little repetitive. Trust me, if you ever listen to, some great metal bands of old, you'll definitely hear some of the same things over and over again. But Buckles, voices, what do you got to say?
This is Jerry singing lead, isn't it?
I think so.
I think my first note was, "Oh, hey Jerry, guess you're not immune to double track me either."
This is the song exactly that we were.
Yeah.
At least he sounds less forced at this point, but honestly, the only thing memorable about the song to me was that Jerry was singing vocals. I'm going to point out something that's going to give you a bit of a reveal about my take on the album is that there's only 2 songs on the song that I actually remembered after listening to the album.
Really?
Yes. Like there's only 2 songs that if I after I finished, like an hour later, if I tried to remember what I'd listened to, there's only 2 songs I could remember, period. And this wasn't one of them.
All right. T.Y., what did you think?
See, some of the double tracking the first time I listened to it, it definitely bothered me at first. Now, I said previous in the episode that I don't think I've ever heard any of the singles. You said this one was a single, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely heard this one on the radio. I put the intro just grabs you, and then they don't really change anything after that.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't know. It just plug anything from the past, even from the last album. It's like there were some really good buildups in some of those songs, and this one's just pretty flat. But this is like the definition of radio rock for me.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cookie cutter, kind of for this style of song that they do. Nate, do you have anything to add?
This song gave me, last episode we were talking a little bit, and more you guys, less me. We're talking about how this that album had vibes of Godsmack's acoustic album.
That was me, yeah.
This song has that vibe mixed with like 90s alternative, not grunge vibes, and
like alt rock, post grunge,
it's
like a little bit of maybe Smashing Pumpkins kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like it's just written for the radio. It's basic,
manufactured.
Yeah, not really a lot of spirit put into it, musically it leaves a lot to be desired. I think like it's okay, there's some cool vocal stuff happening, but there's not anything that makes me go, fuck, I need to go back and listen to Voices right now. It's one of the best songs of all time. Like it's not
I put it's not terrible, it's just bland. Like it just is
not terrible, just bland. Nate, what did you rank it?
My ranking is 5.5.
And Buckles?
Give it a 5.5 as well.
0.5.
Tyler's taking a pee-pee.
Yep, he's taking a pee-pee, and we'll get his rank in just a moment. I gave it a 7 because, I mean, it is enjoyable. Will it make the playlist? Man, if I had to choose this or Your Decision, I would go Your Decision. Like, that song vibes with me more than this one does. And there's nothing wrong.
For sure.
There's nothing wrong with this song.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I don't feel like that it's
bland potato salad, man.
I don't feel like it's that bland as you guys say it is. But I also don't feel like that it gets anywhere in the realm that they have achieved with this style of song.
So it's not memorable in any way. Like it doesn't make you, like Nate brought a good point. It's not gonna make you turn and say, I would put that back on. Let me listen to that again.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're driving around and you hear this play, are you going to turn up the radio? Or are you going to wonder where your exit is?
I mean,
like if I'm driving around, I'm going, well, I turned the oven off, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh shit. I'm more at this point. This came on. I'm more annoyed with the person driving in front of me than I'm listening to the music.
I'm looking for exit 26 ZX7. What the fuck is that?
If this came onto the radio and it was this song, I honestly, before doing this rank, I would be like, which Alice is this? I don't remember this one as much. And I mean, I would listen to it knowing that if I changed the channel, There's probably going to be worse things out there to listen to
Mhm.
than this song from Alice in Chains. I don't really feel like it's that level, because you can easily like switch it over to like the local country butt rock station, because now we talked about butt rock, but now country stations
Country butt rock. Yeah.
there is
That's its
a
own
form
genre.
of country that
Yeah.
has a fake drum track in it now, and they rap.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't-
You're right. You're right.
So
Yeah. Country butt rock is definitely a thing.
I like how that's the first thing that Tyler heard when he came back.
I tried to time that as well as I
Oh
could.
my God, Biscuit! What the fuck?
Did he
That's
just
your
barf?
that's your punishment for belching earlier.
Did he just lay a dookie?
No, but he ripped ass. Bro.
Ty, are
like
you
a-
back with us?
That's like an old
Yeah,
man
all
beer
good.
fart, dude. What the fuck?
Oh God, I love it.
Well, Nate's getting gassed out. Ty, what'd you give this one?
Which one?
Voices.
Which one are we on?
Voices.
I actually gave this one a 9.
A 9.
Yep. Even with my complaints, I had to think about the amount of time. Once I realized that it's a single and I've heard it on the radio, I know for a fact I have. The amount of times that I hear it played on the radio right now, like, good for them. They're making their money, and this and they're doing their thing. So
Yeah,
Did-
I've never heard it played on the radio.
Just to fill you in, Nate and Buckles both gave it a 5.5, and I gave it a 7. So
I'm giving it a 9.
9. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong. The next song has contributions from Mike Inez and Sean Kinney, along with Cantrell. The title track, "The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here." I will go first. The verses are not catchy at all. This song is definitely a vibe, but I'm not sure if it vibes with me. It feels like to do another Metallica comparison. It feels like okay. The chorus gets kind of sing-songy if you'd want to sing it. If you dug it enough to want to sing it. And it kind of feels like a Load-era B-side that would grow on you the more you listen to it. That is, if you wanted to listen to it again. I feel like it could grow on me, but I don't really have a desire to go back to it.
So does fungus.
No. I see. Okay, because my rank here is not fungus. I don't think that it's bad. In fact, I would dare say that my ranks here, I don't think anything on the album is bad. You want bad, you listen to Strung Out from Van Halen. You listen to anything from Van Halen 3, and you will redefine what you think is bad.
You listen to the hidden track from earlier in the Alice in Chains.
Oh yeah, that one, a love song or whatever it
Love
was.
song.
But I mean, just for comparison note, before we did Van Halen, Saint Anger was the lowest overall album rank, right? And then we did Van Halen 3. And Saint Anger sounds like a masterpiece compared to Van Halen 3. And this is Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitar players of all time. This is Alex Van Halen, one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Right.
Okay? Two of the all-time greats are part of a steaming pile of mush.
Just absolute trash.
It doesn't work on any level. And that's not anything that I think here. But Buckles, make your argument. Why is this the worst thing you've ever heard?
It's not. It's not even my worst track on the album.
Okay, we'll go. Then I really can't go on.
No, don't go too far. The first thing I have was lyrically, it's like, I detect sarcasm and allegory. This song's about Christianity.
Some interesting lyrics here, which I'll let Nate read because he does that.
This is all clowning on Christianity. And while I am all for clowning on Christianity, this song is a fucking mess. This is it's droney, it's whining. This is one of the songs I remembered from the track or from after listening to it because it is grating as fuck. That chorus is whiny, straight up whiny.
It's one of the longer ones on the album too.
That's actually the last note I had written was this song has no business being 7 minutes long. None. Has no business being 7 minutes long. No, I can remember the chorus from that. And honestly, out of anything on this album, the chorus is what I remember from this because I disliked it that much.
As I said, it's the only part of the song that's sing-songy, but would you want to sing it?
No, it is so fucking whiny, and which you don't expect from Alice in Chains at all.
Nate, what did you think? And did you bother to pull up lyrics to read the lyrics for this song?
Yeah, uninspired. I'm just beside myself. Like I like what they're trying to say. Obviously, I'm an advocate for the ending of. I mean, I get it. I might catch some flack for this, but religion is the cause of 99% of all world problems when you get down to the true root of it.
I'm in the boat with you. I'll go down the river with you, Nate.
So, this song, well-intentioned at heart, but it is the worst song I have ever heard Alice in Chains write and perform and actually like think they're trying. I did not like the chorus. I do not like the verses at all. I think, like I said, lyrically, they have a good idea, which, okay, I'm about. But there's nothing that strikes me to go back 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times to listen to this song. I'm struggling to just get through it the one time when I listened to it in the first go.
Yeah.
I've listened to it one time since just to make sure I wasn't too in the wrong headspace and just being a judgmental dick of the song. And I don't like it.
I did the same thing.
Same vibe. I'm not a fan. So, yeah, that's what I have to say.
TY.
Man, okay, so first thing, let's dial back the track just a little bit. Let's change my previous rank to 8.5.
Okay. You want to change
the 9
voices.
Do a little bit of reflection here. That's a little bit
His soul searching.
That's a little excessive.
Well, high.
Now going into the title track here, I'm going to hit you with a little bit different perspective. I have listened to dozens and dozens and dozens of Tool and Primus songs that drone and whine and have the same exact vibe that this song does. And there's nothing wrong with it.
You're not wrong, but this isn't Primus or Tool because I'm not listening to this album expecting to hear Primus or Tool.
But that doesn't make it a bad song.
No, but it makes it a bad song on this album.
I disagree.
And this is an example of hold on. I know how to settle this. Let me say what Buckles doesn't quite know how to say in this moment. This would be a good song if it wasn't an Alice in Chains song.
For sure, but that doesn't make it a bad song.
But it doesn't make it.
I would say it would be a better song if there were other people performing it, maybe.
Okay.
Like I could see somebody like Tool making this sound decent because that's more along the lines of what I would expect to hear from that. Something droney or, having that chuggy drone almost to it, I could see from Primus because that's honestly what I would expect. But it takes away from it for me to call Alice in Chains whiny. Because that's not what I expect and not what I would ever hope to hear. It's like, let's say if Tool wrote Turn the Page, would it be a bad song? Not necessarily, but it would sure as hell sound a lot different, and it wouldn't be what you would expect to hear from Tool. I don't expect to hear Metallica play Pudding Time, and that wouldn't make it a bad song, but I wouldn't want them to play it either because it wouldn't come out right, or it wouldn't come out the same, and it wouldn't vibe with the rest of what they were doing.
You could also just not listen to it. You can choose not to listen to music that you don't care for. That doesn't make it good or bad.
I'm not saying that these are good or bad. I'm just saying this was my opinion on the song specifically. None of my rankings,
I wasn't personally attacking you either. I'm just saying in general.
That's an interesting.
Not good or bad.
No, it's a good point about what we're doing here because none of our rankings reflect it's our opinion on the song. It's not reflecting the quality of the song. I can play some drums. I can't play a damn thing near what any of them can play. I can't reproduce any of this shit. I can't sing worth a fuck. So I have no business criticizing anybody's musicality. I just didn't like the song.
Well, to finish my
Yeah, sorry.
soapbox off, I loved the song.
You're more power to you. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. Because that's the point of a record. That's the point of the album.
What did you rank it, Ty?
Yeah.
8.5.
8.5. Buckles, what did you rank it?
Give it a 3.
3. What about you, Nate?
2.5.
What?
2.5.
2.5. Copy paste. Tyler's like copy paste, Nate. I gave it a 6. So I'm somewhere there in the middle. The next track, Lab Monkey. Last album we had Acid Bubble. This album we have Lab Monkey.
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
Lab Monkey, bass funky. I enjoy the vibe of this
Trash
song.
monkey.
Like
God damn it, now I want to go listen to Beastie Boys. Fuck you, Nate.
I was jamming. It's a dope track. I enjoy the lyrics. I think they tell a kind of a fun little story. It isn't for the songs being the length that every song on this album is. It's not the longest song, so I kind of enjoy that as well. It's kind of close, but I just kind of enjoy that brooding. Something about the brooding vibe this song gives is just right in my wheelhouse of like, hey, I might not always listen to this song, but on occasion I may in fact go back and Lab Monkey, bass funky. It's just
Buckles.
Just to hit the highlights on my notes here, it has a cool chord progression at points. I didn't care for the vocals in the least. This is the point where I thought I was kind of getting angrier as I was listening to this, because I have written down this song is a cauldron of bubbling nothing. I did write that I would have enjoyed the song more if it was instrumental. And I can say that for a few songs on this album, that honestly, the riffs and Cantrell's guitar work are what gives the song. That's why I hadn't, up until the last song, I hadn't ranked anything below a 5. It's because I still like the guitar work and I like the music. It's just putting the actual song together that I didn't care for. But this one specifically, I actually noticed that I would probably like this more if this was just an instrumental.
Ty, what'd you think?
I didn't think of it that way, but I really kind of like what Alex just said about taking this and turning it instrumental. I think that would for sure improve it. I like what Nate said too. It's really funky. I put in my notes that here's another strange arrangement. But yeah, I really dug it.
I wrote it's decent enough, but doesn't seem to develop into anything.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
It almost kind of sounds like Pretty Done from a while ago, where like there's some good stuff here. It just doesn't really seem to go anywhere enough for me.
Cauldron of bubbling nothing.
I think it's a little bit better than than like a bubbling cauldron. So much that I thought it was just a tad bit better than the last song. I gave it a 6.25. Ty, what did you give it?
7.5.
And Buckles.
Remember what I said about this not being the last song not being my worst song on the album?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 2.
2. And Nate.
I gave it a 6.75. Lab Monkey, bass funky.
Lab Monkey, bass funky.
I swear to God, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna listen to fucking Beastie Boys just because of you now.
Well, for some of us here, it seems like this album's really hitting a low ceiling. So that's the name of the next song.
Okay, I want the first one on this one here.
Okay,
because I mentioned something earlier about this. This is the song I was talking about where it seemed like Cantrell making a point or having something to say. It took me a few minutes to like actually catch up to it. The lyrics are about being compared to the past. This is about being compared to OG Alice in Chains, about having a low ceiling in the floor and all that. It's about being, kept at a certain level and not being able, like, it's them responding to critics that they don't sound enough like their old self or that they're putting them in a box. To which, I mean, I understand that's a valid reaction to a criticism. However, I like the lyrics more than the vocals, and this still felt like every other song on the album to me. And I think the last comment I made was, sorry, dude, you're getting told this is a step down from OG Alice in Chains, because it is.
I wrote, it's a 90s rock sound with some Sabbath tones here and there. It's not bad. The music is a little bit more engaging than the last song, so that's a plus for it. TY, what did you think?
I listened to just a couple bits of it here. I really like how Jerry, sorry, couldn't get it to stop. I really like how Jerry kind of stands on his own in this song, but it doesn't make it this one for sure. I agree with you guys. If it was 90s rock, it might, but not today. This is not, they're better than this.
Nate?
I thought Low Ceiling had some nice transitions from different parts of the songs, which is really, I find myself struggling a lot of times to understand certain songs when they shift from one thing to the next. Not necessarily with Alice in Chains, just in general. Like certain bands, I'm just like, why did you go from that to that? Doesn't really gel with me. But this song, I'm like, I like the subtle adjustments in the riff. I like the cutout moment that kind of opens up the song. I like any time a song drops the bottom out, but I gave Low Ceiling high marks.
Okay, then what'd you give it?
7.
That's 7. And TY, what'd you give it?
6.75.
And Buckles?
So not far off.
Just a 6. Not offensive.
6.
So
I gave it a 7 as well. Yeah, nothing offensive here. That song also featured a musical input from Sean Kinney and Mike Inez. Next song, Breath on a Window. I wrote some interesting but ultimately straightforward stuff here. Again, nothing bad. Nothing bad here. I maybe rank this a little high for what it is, but I did enjoy it more than the last 3 songs combined. So I'll shift it over to Nate first this time.
My only note is, where is Jack Black coming out to say, I told you to do the bendy every once in a while? Because that's the first thing on the song. The only thing I can think of is like, I told you to do the bendy every once in a while. I don't know.
1-0.
Yeah, woo! But I like the drums in the chorus because they're like different than the majority of the album, where it's a lot of straightforward beats. They are, all over the place with the toms. But this sounds like a Velvet Revolver song.
Yeah, dude, I have that in my notes. I thought the same thing.
That's all I got.
All right, TY, Velvet Revolver.
Yeah.
Do you care to elaborate on that?
Nope. I think that's the
Nope.
Teasing.
You get the Dean Ambrose. Nope.
Nope. I plead the fifth. But no, towards the tail end of my notes on the previous song, it ended up being just kind of blah. It could be better. And my first note on this one, blah, but on a window.
Blah on a window.
Blah on a window.
Gross.
Yeah. Interpret that however, but I do get major Velvet Revolver vibes from this. And I would say it fits, but that was 2006, man. That sounds back in 2006. So
06 called, they want their riff back.
06 called, we know where this one's from.
Buckles?
But yeah, not terrible, just not great.
Buckles.
I had a weird note of after the last song, continuing with our HGTV theme.
That's good. I like that.
This week on This Old House.
Property Brothers.
Like
This
honestly,
Old House on PBS.
full disclosure, by this point in the album, I wanted the album to be over. Like I was just like trying to come up with notes because I didn't want to listen to more of the album.
Yeah.
Speaking of themes, another song that sounds the same as the last with the cool riff and more double tracked harmony with wah pedals in the back. And honestly, the most damning criticism I can give to any song is that this song isn't even over yet, and I've already forgotten it.
Yeah, this one's definitely not good.
Yeah, I
It is a real true stinker.
thanks for blowing my ears out, Nate. Appreciate that, buddy.
You're very welcome.
His Amish ears are impervious to sound.
Amish ears.
Alex and I.
My ears are full of holes.
We went to the zoo on Friday, and there was the Amish community, and it's like I've told like 3 people, like, man, I just felt like Nate should have been there.
Fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro.
I'm teasing, my man. I'm teasing. Oh God!
I can't
Nate,
churn
is
butter.
that you?
I can't churn butter. I tried to fucking milk the cow once.
Are those black New Balances, my man? Those are fucking dripping.
Man, I gotta say, just on that topic really quickly, I felt for those motherfuckers because it was like
God,
it was like
hot,
90
man.
fucking degrees out there,
Those
man. And
poor
they're
people. It was
oh my
hot.
God. And
Nate,
but yeah,
Goodness.
Nate,
My bad.
the cow's name is Norman.
I was gonna say Nate tried to milk a bull. Nate tried to milk a bull.
Kingpin.
Fucking city slickers too, man. I thought I'd help out, so I thought, you know what, milk the cow. I'm down there. I'm pulling. I'm tugging. Nothing. Not a drop. The cow's name is Norman. I'm gonna go wash up.
I haven't watched that movie in forever.
Oh man.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time since I've watched either of them.
They're great. They're
Good
great movies.
Good
I love
movies,
them.
though.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, anyway,
Buckles, what's your rank?
just like I said earlier, when a song is dead even in the middle of the road and I don't remember anything, it's a 5.
Okay.
It's nothing.
And TY.
I gave this one a 5.5 only because there was a couple guitar licks in there that I hadn't heard elsewhere on the album, but otherwise it's definitely 5.5.
Nate.
3.75.
I guess
Man.
I guess I like Velvet Revolver. I gave it an 8. The next track, Scalpel. Scalpel.
Scalpel. Yep.
Scalpel, if you will. It's Scalpel. You're nasty.
if you will. See if you're nasty.
The Scalpel.
Scalpel if you're nasty.
This is another one with Sean Kenny and Mike Inez on the credits. This is
The Gabagool.
This is another one that has that stereotypical acoustic AIC. However, I thought it was really neat how well they were able to capture 90s tone here. This sounded damn near in tone with what you would have heard out of the grunge movement from the 90s. And therefore, while I can't really place Voices and Scalpel apart from each other right now in my memory, I do know that the tone made me like this a little bit more, but yeah, a little bit more doesn't necessarily grant it much on top of what I gave it. So, Buckles, what did you say?
That it's a little country tinged to me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, country tinged nothing is still nothing.
It could be like we said with the fake drums and the rapping country that's out there. Kane Brown, whatever his name is.
It could be that.
Butt country.
Butt country.
I remember that. That was a Avenged Sevenfold song, right? Butt country.
Nate just fucking starts screeching. We look up and he's in crab pose. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
He just scuttles across the fucking screen. Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, butt country. That's fucking good shit.
That was good, man.
Oh God. Now, okay. So, how many of you have seen Fear and Loathing?
Oh, absolutely.
Just imagine. We can't stop here. We can't pull over here. This is butt country.
It's an endless avenue of asses.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about this song.
Nate.
Yo, I thought this song was it, you know what it made me think of? It was like an undone track or a forgotten track from the Jar of Flies Sap era. Like that they were like, hey, do you remember that song we were gonna do that we never finished? You want to put some lyrics to that shit? Maybe. Okay. And then like they were like, it's a little too droning. Maybe we should be a little darker and change it. No, let's be light and happy. Okay, that sounds good. Oh, it's so confusing. But yeah, the song was only okay for me. It was the very middle of the road, like Buckles would say.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
I didn't love this one, but it's definitely one on my piece of mail note card here. And I really love what you said about capturing kind of that 90s tone. This is definitely the most grunge. Like, this makes me feel grunge, but still not super high.
No, it's not completely in there, but from like, okay, not in terms of the way they're playing the song, but in terms of tone. For a second, I thought I was listening to the intro to Pete and Pete.
Wow.
And so like, again, not the fact that it sounds like that, but I'm like, oh wow, they're almost there. But it definitely put me there. What'd you give it, TY?
7.25.
7.25. Same here. I gave it the same as well. Nate, what'd you give it?
Nice.
A 5. Middle of the road. And
A
Buckles.
5.
6.5. 6.5.
6.5. In fact, hold on. 6.5 twice, so that's a 13?
No, God, no.
Okay. I'm just checking.
I heard that's a 13, so
Yeah.
go ahead and add that one.
If
We're
I
gonna
didn't-
give this one a positive score.
Now my next song is gonna be a negative 17.
Nope. Nope, can't.
even it. If I didn't say Sean Kinney and Mike Inez also had input on that song, the next song has everybody, including lyrics and solo from William Duvall. And this song is called Phantom Limb. And I will let Tyler go first.
I won't gush about this one because I want to. But in my notes here, it's a heavy jam that just grabs you and won't let go. Happy to see something that they themselves are happy to play. I can definitely feel the energy in this one.
I'm right there with you because I feel because this is the longest song on the album. This is 7 minutes.
Yep,
and
it's 7 minutes, and I didn't hate it.
Yeah. See, and that says a lot right there. So, if you look at my ranks, I gave Breath on the Window an 8. Maybe it doesn't deserve it. Maybe that's a reactionary rank from the lower bar that we've been setting, the lower ceiling, so to speak, that we've been having. The fact that as soon as this song started, it got my attention.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? And I said it's heavy. It's a really good track that probably goes a minute and a half longer than it needs to. And it probably doesn't deserve the rank that I'm going to give it. But I liked it enough despite its length. And I thought it was different compared to almost anything else on the record. And if there's a song on the album that is going to be that different thing that Buckles keeps speaking of that sets itself apart from older, it's this one. So I'm gonna pass the baton to Buckles. What do you got?
I do like that there's a different tempo to it. It does sound different than the other songs on the album. The vocals aren't buried, except the verses aren't buried, at least. Although I have it all caps. I don't remember. I'd be completely forthwith. I don't remember the song other than my notes for it. I have in all caps. Even the quiet parts are double tracked. Why? And then I also have in all caps. Why does every song have to be 6 minutes plus? By this point in the album,
did I write this review?
Dude, by this point in the album, I I'm like looking at my phone, like I want this to be over. I have 3 songs to go. God, I gotta get through the next 2 songs. Like I wanted to turn this off by this point, and I don't know. I can't. I feel like that colors my review in the sense that like I almost wasn't. I mean, I was struggling to pay attention to the song because I wanted to turn it off. I wanted to turn the whole album off and go do something else. But it did sound different. It did have a different tempo to it. So I did give it a little bit better score than I had in the others.
Nate.
I think this song catches a really good vibe, like the energy of the song. Like you said, as soon as you hear that riff, you're like, whoa, where was this the rest of the album? Where was more of this in the album? Because if there was more of this throughout the album, I'd probably be giving everything good scores. But I like the dichotomy of the vocals that happens throughout. They are able to channel that screaming. They're able to channel the soft talking. They can sing it beautifully. Like, they're channeling all their different little parts that make them Alice in Chains. I'm just struggling to be, I don't know what the word is, sold on the fact that there's instant replayability. It doesn't make me want to go back and listen 1,000 times over. And I think that's where I'm having a little bit of a disconnect, but I do really enjoy the song.
What'd you rank it?
I gave that bad boy a 6.75.
And Buckles.
6.
TY.
8.25.
8.25. I gave it a 9.
And hold on. Nobody gave him his flowers, but Duvall's solo is fucking banging on the song. Let me add.
I'll give you that.
Like
Sure.
like more of that though too, also as well.
For sure. I really dug the song, and it got my attention for the latter part of the album, only for the next song to come in and take it away.
Yeah. Wow.
So the next song,
Well, I'm really happy to hear you say that, Brando. I don't
it's
feel so
called
bad
Hung
now.
on a Hook. And I was on such a high from the last song. I'm like, man, that, 7-minute long song here, and I wasn't ready for it to end. I was really dug into the riff. And there's nothing wrong with the lyrics. I was headbanging along with it on the way home, and then this song comes on, and I'm like, okay, yeah, huh, what?
Yeah.
And okay, so what I'm gonna say about Hung on the Hook, and I'll go first. It has the elements of what could make a great Alice in Chains song. They're all here. You can hear them in there. But they're not all played at the same time, or at least seems like if someone's playing something different. The chorus riff and vocal pattern clash, and upon re-listening to it, I think the drums. I think they're playing on different beats, or they're played at an odd time signature. Something is not gluing together here. Because this song could have been really standard down the middle, and they decided to, for some reason, maybe they had this song, and then when they went to go and mix the album, they accidentally put a guitar track from a different song entirely, and that's what's on here. I don't know, but it sounds that weird to my ears, and this is my lowest rank on the album, and because it's not pleasant to me. It's when some of you guys have gone pretty low on some of this stuff, and I don't think anything here is in the 2s to me. And I didn't rank this as a 2, but it damn near close. I gave it a 3. Just spoiler alert. TY, I'll go to you first.
I'm not far off from you. It's almost that like that center, like that center treble. It's just it makes me, it's uncomfortable to listen to, because I'm still trying to get it to stop here, of course. But why? This one's like, why? When you're editing something and putting it together, and it's like, you know what, that's ready to go. How?
No one stopped him.
No. He looked around the room like,
okay,
y'all good with this? Like, okay.
I didn't realize
You know?
I didn't realize this album was being mixed by Colonel Tom Parker.
Yeah.
Like-
Mr. Bean. Mr.
Yeah.
Bean mixed this one.
Uh,
You know, not I mean, I'm right there with you, Brandon. You know, I hate to give anything like a 2, but god damn it. What is this? Just for a little bit more context too, if you look at the rest of the album, there is some good, you know, as far as streaming metrics, Stone, 14 million plays,
Voices had 10.
10 million plays, and you get down to this, I'm Gonna Hook has less than 2 million plays.
ooh,
It's like that,
Oh, wow.
that you're struggling at that point.
that's
Almost
like,
everybody is skipping this song.
Yeah, even the ones who are just listening to the album.
Go for it, Buckles.
Yeah. I have 2 notes. One, I'll be happy to give different criticisms when you give me different songs. 2, not going to say the song Perform Euthanasia, which is pretty much the lyric from the track. Not going to say me perform euthanasia over and over and over and over and over again. You're
Damn,
not going
yeah.
to say this song, Perform Euthanasia, please.
Nate?
This
I feel like-
one note. This song is 5 minutes going on 5 hours, and I'm not here for it. It's entirely too long. You're like, wait, I'm only a minute and a half into this song. I feel like I've been listening to it for 6 minutes. No, please, no, God, no. There's 5 minutes left in this 5-minute song. I just try.
No,
I've already listened to 2 verses. How are there still 5 minutes? And then and the 5 minute never goes away. It's always 5 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? I'm confused. And you skip forward in the song, expecting it to be a different time. And guess what? There's still 5 minutes left.
And
I
then you
don't
go down and you
understand.
cheese.
The chair is cheese. God damn it, Tyler beat me to it.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I gave
The
her a
chair is cheese.
3.75.
3.75 from Nate. I gave it a 3. Buckles, what did you give it?
Solid 3.
A 3. And TY?
3.
3.
I'm fucking right there with you on this one. It is not. Nah, dog.
Struggled. Well,
It's a no for me, yeah.
It's a no for me, dog.
what I will say is the next song redeems it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back up, ends the album on a better note than this. And it seems like it was a single, but it wasn't. The song is called Choke, and I do believe I do believe that
I feel like Nate's got something to say about that. Or he's just pantomiming. They either have something to say or he's having a seat. Or one of the
They
two.
choked on the end of this album. They maybe choked on a dick at the end of this album. Like they might. I mean, they. The last song, I'm not a fan.
So you didn't like it.
And then no, I don't like Puddle of Chains. I'm not a fan of Puddle of
Thank you.
Chains.
That I put that in my notes. Puddle of mud. What?
Oh my God.
Question mark.
Having seen Puddle of Mud live, that's mean. That's very cruel.
I think it's
Puddle
better
of
than
mud
Puddle of Mud.
remembers.
The lyrics really vibed with me on this one. I got a really big vibe from it. The go then if you don't feel right living in our home, choking, eat your pride alone. You know, needless tension, the walls around you, built before you came to tear them down. It was you I found. Take some time to think it over. It was hard to walk this road we mind. Then it's time to say goodbye. There was some stuff here that when I listened to it, I was like, okay, I kind of vibe it. It's not the greatest song on the album, but that's the thing about music, that some stuff hits us differently than others, and some of us are just tired of the album and we want to turn it off. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I think my rank might be a little bit higher than what I would do it, but in response to the previous song, it's a damn godsend. So, Nate.
Oh, absolutely.
Nate, I'll let you go first. Why did you hate this song?
I don't know. I just felt it was very you don't end it like I struggle when albums end on a uh I think albums that end on these soft spoken notes when you've already had a lot of soft kind of songs make you feel like it's more of an emo thing and less of like a hard rock band thing. And I'm like, okay, like I get it. I love when Alice in Chains brings it down and gets soft and taps into the real and all that. But there's just already been too much of that, I think, in this album. And for me, this is just like, if this would have been on the last album, maybe I would have had a different opinion. But I'm already kind of over this album at this point. And this last song, I'm just like, can we be done now? Like,
Right.
can we do anything but listen to this song? But honestly, it was just not a track that vibed with me. I think they kind of phoned it in is really what I want to say. I feel like this is a phoned in track. I love the lyrics, but I think musically speaking, it's all phoned in.
TY.
Stock drums. It's fucking stock.
Okay, Lars. TY, what'd you think?
I think, and tell me what you guys think here, but this is definitely, if I wasn't as diehard of an Alice in Chains fan as I am, you could almost not convince me that this isn't a Seether track.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, like
I got you
like
there.
any of Seether's like last 3 or 4 albums, like straight up, you cannot convince me this isn't on one of those albums.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like, sure, it's not a terrible song by any means, but it's almost 6 minutes of, you know, like Nate said, fucking stock drum track. Like, what is that? You know? So I hate to kind of sound like I'm shitting on it, but you know, I'm with Nate and Alex on this one.
I haven't even said anything yet.
I know. I'm just but you know, but yeah, it's just not this is definitely like, no wonder the ceiling's low.
Lower that ceiling, Buckles.
I'm going to read you the one note that I have for this song. I honestly have no notes for this song that are any different from the rest of the songs I've ranked for this album. I feel like I've heard this song in various forms for the last hour.
Exactly what I'm saying. When you bring the same droning on and on and on again on the same album.
Like, I stopped caring 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. What'd you rank it, Buckles?
Again, I was barely paying attention to it. 5.
Buck and TY.
I gave this one a 5. Or no, I'm sorry. 5.75.
Nate.
$3 bill, y'all.
Gave it a 7.5.
Well, it's at least that's the worst album.
I gave it a 7.5. And that concludes the ranks.
Bloodletting.
So on the last episode, I want to go back to the last ranks real quick on Black Gives Way to Blue. We did not say what the highest ranking or lowest ranking songs were. We kind of forgot. We were running late and we kind of wrapped it up. So did you know that for the very first time, we have maybe not the first time, but we have a tie for the highest ranked album for Black Gives Way to Blue, and it's not like a 10. It's not even a solid number. In fact, we gave both of these songs completely different ranks, and we got the same damn number out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And
stop teasing us then.
so check my brain and your decision both got 9.37.
Weird.
And
Like exactly, not like
Okay.
no rounding.
no, okay.
What
So
were-
so check my brain. Check my brain. I gave it a 10. Nate gave it an 8.75. Tyler gave it a 9.25, and Buckles gave it a 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Your decision. I gave it a 10. Nate 10. Tyler 10. Buckles 7.5, and they still
That's what. Yeah,
matched.
that's
Wow.
crazy.
So what does it end up on this show? How did it rank out?
Let's put some lipstick on this pig.
I'm looking. The highest ranked song is Hollow. That does not surprise me. And the second highest ranked is Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Also doesn't surprise me. The highest ranked
Hollow Stone.
Hollow gets an 8, and then Stone gets a 7.6. The rest is kind of all in around the 5s and sixes.
It's a very middle of the road, very nondescript album.
Hung on a
So,
Hook
I mean-
gets a 3.18, and I got to go back to the self-titled. That ranks lower than anything on the self-titled.
What about in comparison to Love Song?
We didn't rank Love Song.
Oh, that's right.
I
was the
refused to
one
rank it.
I was the only one that gave it a score. That's right.
Maybe for the bonus track, we may, if you want to, on the final episode next week, we can actually rank that song and not have it bring the entire thing down.
Well, as I recall, mine was just like a group of letters and words.
No, okay. Anyways,
It's just static.
so my,
sap.
I think so.
Yeah. The ranking I gave it was 75 Q Texas vomit emoji.
Okay, there you go. It's gonna be interesting.
75Q.
My Devil put the Dinosaurs here rank is 7.08. Nate's is 5.29. Tyler, yours is a 7.06. And Buckles 4.95 with an average master rank of 6.09. And does that beat 6.09?
Niner.
Self-titled got a 6.5.
So that is the lowest then.
And Music Bank, the extra songs, got a 6.72.
So it is it that
It is
means
the lowest. Yeah, to Devil
right.
Put Dinosaurs is the lowest so far, guys. Very interesting track here that we're on because we have one more to go.
On to Rainier Fog.
Yep. Rainier Fog.
I think it's supposed to be Rainier, being Rainier,
Rainier?
Washington, Mount Rainier.
Yep, Mount Rainier. There's
I really like
Rainier.
the art for the album cover.
I do
God, I was
too.
having a
I
stroke.
was gonna say I like the album cover for this one. I mean, the title track, the name, and the art on the album cover is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you got the
But-
skulls and it makes you put them together and it makes
Mhm.
Big
yeah.
Triceratops skull.
And then if you look at other art with it, and it's got like a more invisible skull, and if you look at them both together, it makes like a devil face. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty. There is a
It's
song.
orange.
There's a song on the next album. It starts off with "The One You Know," so it's that one Alice in Chains song you know. And then there's another one called "Drone."
Yep.
Can actually since I have not listened to this album yet, can you tell me what the singles for this album were for Rainier Fog? Because I'm kind of curious to listen to see if that covers my opinion on it.
Give me a second, because there's also a song on here called "Maybe."
And Fly.
There's just some really interesting song titles for Rainier Fog. Anyway, there are
Is there a song called Butt Country?
there is not. So there are 4 singles for Rainier Fog that we'll talk about next week, and the first one is the one you know, and then it's So Far Under, Never Fade, and then the title track Rainier Fog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that next week here on the show. Pretty excited to dive into that because I haven't listened to that at all.
Same.
I
I've
may-
not listened to it at all. Yeah.
I may have heard the one you know as like when it first came out, and then I didn't hear anything else. So it's going to be very interesting to dive into that with you guys and do that nice exploration phase that I talked about at the beginning of this episode. But once again, Nate, Tyler, Buckles, thank you once again for joining me here on this ride of going through Alice in Chains discography and ranking them all. It's been an awesome ride. And I want to thank all you guys out there listening at home or watching at home. It's been an interesting one, to say the least. We started off definitely off the rails. And by the time we got on the rails, there wasn't anything cool to talk about. We just
Facts.
That's the way it goes sometimes. But all of you out there, if you made it this far, you probably know where to find us. But Nate, could you remind them where we all are?
Get us on all those different podcasting platforms: Apple Music, Podbean, Spotify, Castbox, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. You can use Alexa to search for Rank 'Em All Podcast. You can go on to podbean.com and get us at rankemall.rocks. That's our URL. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter and
Watch the
YouTube. That's the best place to see us, is on the YouTube, folks. You want to get all the funny content and me with my weird faces and they're losing it and dying laughing or making old man noises. You guys know what we're talking
Amish
about.
Nate is?
Wow. Anyways, folks, I think that's going to do it. I'll lobby it back one more again to my homie. Here's the John Stockton lob.
There you go. Coming in right in for the Dunkaroo right here on
Don't ever. How dare you?
Bibbidi Bops and the Dunkaroos.
Maybe to bob some butt.
If there was no other clue other than watching the YouTube, I'm white as hell. And we have been Rank 'em All. Next week, we're checking out Rainier Fog. And thank you guys once again for listening to us here on Rank 'em All. We will see you then. Until then, rank on and later on. Later on, guys.
Bye.